e.l.f. has a new Halo Glow Skin Tint, and there's also a really good one on the market by Maybelline. Should you go spend $18 on this new skin tint, or will it just sit on your shelf because some of the ones that you have are already better? We're gonna do a side-by-side comparison because today is Friday Face-Off. Friday Face-Off videos are the ones where I take two comparable products, do a complete wear test so you can see how they apply, a little bit more about the packaging, and we're gonna dive into what the marketing says about these products. Then we're gonna do an 8-hour wear test to see how they hold up on more mature skin. I am a big fan of the Skin Tint by Maybelline. It's done very well in Friday Face-Offs in the past, but the new e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint Mineralizing SPF, it's definitely a contender, so we'll see how they wear on more mature skin. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jody. I'm 55 and I love all things beauty. Most importantly, I love embracing the pro-aging movement, but I do it sometimes kicking and screaming along the way, and I share products with you and makeup tips that help you know what's best for your more mature skin, where to save your money, maybe where to splurge, and where to spend your money. Today we have two products that are both $18, so not a high price point, but you don't need both. Are one of these a new holy grail, and will the other one cause you to stand in the return line or just collect dust in the back of your makeup drawer? So join me, your midlife beauty bestie, and we're gonna find out together. All right, so let's dive right into it, you guys. Interesting story. I was getting my hair done the other day, and I was sharing with my hairstylist that I was gonna try this, and he has a new intern assistant that's helping him as she's finishing up her hours for her license. And she said she has this and she absolutely loves it. So I'm really excited to see how it looks. Now she's probably 24, big difference in the skin type, so, or at least the texture of the skin. So just as a note, she loves it. So we're gonna see how it works on more mature skin. I think let's do this side of my face with the e.l.f. All right, so let's get into the specifics of this. This sells for $18. It comes in 18 shades. I have it in number 6, Light Cool. It does say to shake it well before you apply it. e.l.f. is cruelty-free. This is light buildable coverage. It's a little runny, which most skin tints are. I like to just apply a little bit on the back of my hand. It's cute packaging. It's typical e.l.f. packaging, as you can see, and it's just a little tube, so pretty easy. I think it'd be easy to keep clean, easy to throw in your bag, easy to set on a counter. It is plastic where the Maybelline is glass, so we'll get into that in just a second, but pretty thin, which I like, especially for a lighter coverage. The marketing says it's a lightweight serum and feels light on the skin. It's always a mystery when you color match a new formula. If you have skin tone like mine, this number 6, Light Cool, is about as close as a perfect match as I think I've ever found. So the coverage is good. Now I do have a moisturizer on underneath this. I have the CeraVe Night Cream right here, and I have my sunscreen on. I have combination skin, so we'll have a chance to see how these foundations wear on oily skin, because I'm oily in the T-zone, so right up through here on the chin and definitely here around the nose is where I typically get some separation from products, and then I'm dry on the cheek. So we'll be able to answer the kind of questions that you probably have in terms of your specific skin type. I don't have a primer underneath, and I'm not gonna set these with a setting powder. I will add a little bit of cream blush just so that we can see how cream blush wears. I'm not gonna add any powder bronzer or powder contour because powder does help things set, and I wanna know how these products work independent of any additional products to help them do what they say they're gonna do. That way we know how they work at their base. Then if you want to layer powders on top of them, you know that the powders are going to work and help lock in what is already there. But many of you don't like to wear powder. You prefer cream products. So I want to give us a sense of how these products work without any powders to help set them. The coverage is, I would say, a little bit better than light because I have discoloration on my skin, some imperfections, hyperpigmentation really, and I don't see any of that, especially compared to the side that we haven't added anything. I'm a little curious to see how glowy this gets because I'm not a fan of glowy foundations or a glowy complexion. I shouldn't say I'm not a fan of it. For me, I feel like if it's too glowy in the oily areas, it gets to look like a shiny, oily, slick mess at the end of about a 4-hour mark. Now, if you really love the way this looks and you do have oily skin, you can apply a mattifying primer on those areas where you do get a little more oil breakthrough. I don't have that much oil, at least with a normal foundation, so we'll see how this foundation wears. I'm just applying both of these foundations with the BK Beauty 106 fluffy brush. I just prefer to apply my foundation that way. I feel like it's a good application, and then I can still go in and buff with the same tool. I don't find a need to have two different tools when I apply my foundation with this fluffy brush. So there it is, you guys. I'm pretty impressed actually. And I'm a big fan of this skin tint. So we're gonna see. And again, we'll wear these for about 8 hours and see how they're holding up. But so far, I'm absolutely loving it. And what I'm really loving is how well that color matches. All right, so over to the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint. This is also $18. Also comes in 18 shades and is a skin tint. So very similar in consistency. The difference between the packaging right off the bat is this one is just a quick plastic. I like that a little better for throwing in your purse travel, where this is glass and it is a droplet applicator and can be a little messy. I wear color 120 in this formula. And I didn't do a very good job of getting it out. I just don't want too much. So very similar in terms of consistency of formula. I think this one's probably a little thicker, not in a bad way, just a point of reference. And I just use about that much. It doesn't take much. It also offers light coverage, buildable coverage. It has vitamin C in it. I wouldn't say it's enough to be your only source of vitamin C for your skin if you do like the effects of vitamin C to your skin. But I have been loving this skin tint. But you guys, right now, I'm feeling like I need more. Start with that. But I'm feeling like I like the e.l.f. coverage a little better. Just gonna get a little bit more on my hand. And these two are so comparable because of the formula, because of the price point, because of the coverage, because of the finish. I mean, all the things. They're almost the identical product. So then the question becomes, if you like the $20 price point and you like a skin tint, so a lighter coverage, although this feels a little bit more like medium coverage to me, I'm really liking it. But I'm a big fan of e.l.f. Soft Glam, and that's kind of what this is giving with just a little lighter formula. So the coverage on both, as you would expect, are good right out of the gate. We'll have to see how they hold up over time, of course. Okay, so right off the bat, I can see that the coverage is better with e.l.f. I'm having a little hard time covering this discoloration. They are both water-based, so you can apply a water-based concealer. I will probably do that and we'll see how it wears. In fact, once I get both of these foundations on, I will step off the camera, do my eye makeup, and then we'll take a final look before we go a full 8 hours. But I'm definitely gonna need some concealer on this Maybelline side. I don't know that I need it on the e.l.f. side. So we'll see. Yeah, I can definitely still see some discoloration over here. So the coverage isn't quite as good. In terms of the feel of the product, yeah, they both feel the same. One doesn't feel heavier. You know how sometimes a skin tint can almost make your skin feel like it's sweating from underneath, that it can't breathe? I cannot stand that feeling because like in about an hour, I just feel like a thick, sloppy mess and I just want to go wash it off. I don't feel that right now out of the gate with either one of these. So by the time I go put on the rest of my makeup, my face makeup, my eyes specifically, it'll be another probably half an hour. So I'll be able to tell if these are feeling, yeah, suffocating or thick or heavy on my skin. But right now, not so much. Real quick, you guys, before I go put on the rest of my makeup, my eye makeup and stuff, I wanted to just zoom you in. For those of you that are following my lash lift and tint journey, I'll put the video right here to walk you through the whole process. It's supposed to last about 6 weeks, and that really just depends on your eyelash cycle and how you care for them. And by that, I just mean I wash with coconut oil, so I might not get a full 6 weeks out of it. Expecting that these last about 6 weeks, I'm a third of the way into that, and they still look really good. I haven't noticed a big difference. I don't feel like they are as dark as they were 2 weeks ago, but the lift is still definitely there. Before I touch them with any mascara or anything, just let you see what they look like at the 2-week mark. And again, if you watch the video on how they look right after the process, there's the color's not quite as dark, although this side looks a little darker to me than this side. But anyway, this is what my lashes look like after 2 weeks of the Lash Lift and Tint. All right, you guys, so I am back with a little bit of eye makeup on. I didn't put the mascara on because this got me the other day at the store at Ulta. This is the Colossal Bubble by Maybelline. I think it's Maybelline, isn't it Maybelline? Yeah, Maybelline. And it was really hyped. And so I thought, well, let me just see, because if some of these work out and, you know, we're ordering stuff online, let's just see if we like some new mascara. I'm a big fan of Maybelline's Firework mascara. So this will have to really do an amazing job. Again, this is the Colossal. So we'll zoom you guys in so we can see. I don't remember how much this was. I think it was under $10. Most of their mascaras are somewhere in that $10, $12 range. That's what the bristle looks like. Look, we're kind of doing a double Friday face-off. So that's what the lash looks like before. And we're just gonna see side by side. I mean, this is kind of a Friday face-off with mascara. We're doing Colossal mascara versus nothing. Well, Lash Lift and Tint, so I shouldn't say it's absolutely nothing. But if this can make a Lash Lift and Tint side look wimpy in comparison, then we know it's really good. So let's see what we've got. I mean, that's just with a quick light coat. I'd say that's a pretty good difference. Let's just do both eyes then, so that we're only comparing our face today. And I'm not walking around with not only 2 sides of foundation, but one eye with lashes and one eye not. So we'll be able to see if this transfers also underneath our eye, since we're gonna do that 8-hour check-in. And we'll see if maybe we found a new mascara. And if it works good, then who knows, maybe a Fireworks versus Colossal. That sounds like a King Kong movie, doesn't it? All right, so liking the Colossal mascara. We'll see what it looks like in 8 hours. And then I want to add just a little bit of blush because I feel like I need something on these cheeks. Again, I don't want to add a powder because, you know, powder helps set foundation, and I want to see how these foundations wear on skin without any setting help. So we're just going to add just a little bit of a liquid blush. This is the Ulta Cloud Blush. It won't really do anything to our foundation. It won't help it, or hopefully it won't hurt it at all. It doesn't seem to be pulling away. If you're wondering, I'm just adding a little bit of this to the back of my hand. One of the biggest takeaways for me, you guys, with putting on makeup with mature skin is if you can apply any of the products that you can apply to the back of your hand and then pick up with the brush that you want to use, has just made a big difference in the, I don't know if I'd say the professional way, but just the more natural application or the natural look to my makeup. I just find that with the wrinkles and the texture and all of the extra complexities that those of us with more mature skin have, applying the products on the back of my hand first and then going in with it on the brush just makes it look, I think, more flawless. One thing I'll also say is, I know there's a lot of trends lately about putting your blush right here and then going up through here. I've tried that, and I just think on more mature skin, it just doesn't look right. And I also think, you know, the old school way of going right through here doesn't look right either. For me, the answer has been somewhere in between. Instead of starting so high up on the cheek, I'll bring it down and almost look for the high point of my eyebrow to my cheekbone. Kind of that's where I'll start, the top of my ear area, and just go right on that high point of the cheekbone and then diffuse it as it goes into the temple. I just think it looks funny when you start here and wear blush all the way up to here. That's just my personal preference. I feel like, to me, it looked like I was trying too hard. That was the look I was left with when I did that. So I'm just gonna go really lightly that way. Some reason it just looks like it's darker on the Maybelline side. But anyway, so that is our final look. Make sure I don't have blush on the back of my hand. That is the final look with these 2 foundations. They both still feel really light and natural on my skin. I do think that the coverage of the e.l.f., even though it says it's light coverage, glowy finish, I don't feel like it looks super glowy. I do feel like it looks the same as the Maybelline. Actually, I think the Maybelline side looks a little more dewy. This looks a little more, I don't want to say blurred or matte. It doesn't look matte at all, but it looks a little less dewy than the Maybelline side. So Maybelline side, a little more dewy right after application than the Halo Glow Skin Tint side, which is interesting. But I like them both. I do like the coverage of this one a little bit better. And you guys know I love my Skin Tint by Maybelline. So we shall see how they wear after 8 hours. Again, no setting powder, no setting spray. And this is what they look like right now. All right, you guys, so we are back. It has been 9 hours. I got a little sidetracked. What else is new? And I didn't quite make it back in time to film an hour ago. But the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint says it's 24 hours. You won't find that wear test, not on this channel, not on this 55-year-old. I don't need more than maybe 10 hours. That's pushing it. But 9 hours, these are holding up pretty good. So let's get into the obvious things first. This mascara, I do think I'm gonna have to do a Friday face-off with this Colossal. I kind of think already I like it better than the Fireworks, which you guys know I've been loving that. I think the difference is the Fireworks is each lash looks more, well, yeah, each lash looks skinnier but longer. This one I feel like each lash looks a little bit more voluptuous and longer. So I get a little bit of volume and lengthening with this one, and there is no transfer underneath. So big fan of this. I think they're relatively the same. So if you need one, whichever one you see, you could grab it. I just feel like this one's a little bit more of a volume to it. So this will be replacing my Fireworks. In terms of these foundations, all right, so here's what dawned on me about halfway through this experiment. Remember a few videos ago, I shared with you that my favorite combo is the e.l.f. Soft Glam with this, right? Remember that? If these two could have created a certain formula, that would be perfect, because then you don't need both. Well, that's what this one actually is. So for the creators of e.l.f. for watching my video and creating a formula just for me, I really appreciate it. That's not at all what happened. I'm sure of it because this has been out. It would have taken a lot longer. Anyway, that's where I find this foundation. It is a little bit better coverage than the Skin Tint alone. Feels like a Skin Tint on your skin, however, and it's a little bit more of a soft matte than this. This is a little lighter coverage, a little bit more glowy. This feels a little bit between a natural and a soft matte. That's really where the difference is. Again, you guys, it's these two combined. That's what this one is. So if you've done this and you like that, once you're out of both of these, you could just replace it with this one. Now, many of you know that I love, love, love the Complexion Crush by Ulta. That is my ultimate foundation for my combination skin. I think this compares pretty similar to it. I just find that, well, I think it compares pretty similar to it. I don't know that there is a difference. This one's probably a little bit more glowy than the Complexion Crush by Ulta. That is more of a soft matte. This is a hybrid between a soft matte and a glow. To me, this is a really nice summer option because it's a great finish. It's a natural, healthy look to the skin. It covers everything, but you don't feel it on the skin. It's a light formula. It didn't really tend to settle into fine lines and wrinkles. I mean, they are there, so there's gonna be some settling. If I was to use a primer, I probably wouldn't get this much settling. But the other thing I wanna note is that for the oily parts of my skin, which is definitely my forehead and certainly my chin area and right around my nose, neither one of these, whether the Maybelline or the e.l.f., bunched up, settled, or separated in those areas. So for those of you that have oily skin that maybe found this one to be a little too shiny after a few hours, you might be happier with this one because I don't see any breakthrough at all. And again, you know, interesting. Remember we found that the formulas were a little bit different. This one is a little thicker formula, the Maybelline, but yet it wears like a thinner formula on, where the e.l.f. is definitely, yeah, I'm gonna spill it. My computer's right below me, so hopefully I don't spill it. The Maybelline is a little bit thicker consistency than the e.l.f., and yet it wears thinner on. This is a thinner formula, but gives better coverage. I find that interesting because usually it's the other way around. The thicker the formula, the better the coverage, or the more full coverage you get, and that's not what I'm finding here at all today. So you guys be the judge for yourself. I do really like it. I think I like it better than the Maybelline 24-Hour Stay Skin Tint because it's a little bit less glowy. But again, I like a more soft matte to this look to the skin. If you like a little bit more glow to the skin, then I would stick with this one. If you like a little less glow but still a healthy shine, borderline soft matte, then this is a good one. And then of course there's always the Complexion Crush by Ulta for 16 bucks. That is my personal favorite. Now that we have found foundations that will work great for your skin type, here's a video you might like on how to undersculpt with your blushes and your contours and your concealers under these perfect foundations. So be sure to check that out. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in just a couple days. Bye-bye.